This dude got a lizard in his car. As always, guys, giveaways at the end of every single video from boostedshades.com, so make sure you stick around till the end to see how to win.
What is up, guys, and welcome to another video. We are kicking off the Honda Scrambler build series.
Yeah, so first thing we're going to go over some specs and what you can expect out of this build.
There was one comment that really struck interest because we thought, we were either going to do a bobber or a cafe racer, but then somebody said, why not do something like, if you ever seen The Walking Dead, Daryl's bike, he's got a Scrambler, and actually they used a CB 750 or Nighthawk 750 for that bike. We want to do something very similar to that. So the specs for this bike, we're going to go with a sport bike front end.
Specifically the CBR 600 RR forks.
We're going to do progressive rear suspension. We haven't decided on that yet, but it's got these little chode shocks on it now, and it needs to be taller if it's going to be a Scrambler. The 600 RR, it's going to be an entire front end swap, so brakes, everything. The only thing that we're going to change is the handlebars. So instead of the sport bike handlebars, we're going to do something a little bit more off-roady.
But first things first, we need to start tearing down all the junk that we're not going to use on this bike, like this seat.
I thought this was bolted down. Okay. And this gas tank, and the lines are still connected to it. I'd throw it dramatically like Devin did, but I can't. So we're gonna get started actually removing things off this bike. We had a video a while back on this particular bike, but we never followed through with it because we didn't have the time or the room. We have a little bit more room now that one of our projects is on the road. So we are excited to move forward because, as you may have seen in our videos, if you've been following us for a long time, we are bike guys. We have quite a few.
And this one's pretty lame in the moment, so let's make it cool.
So recently we were moving things around to make room in the garage and make room for all our projects and our cars. And we haven't used the Jeep in a while. When we started it, it's making a kind of like a tap dancing noise. Some of you may already know where this is going. What did we discover about the Jeep?
There's absolutely no oil in it. I have no idea where it went because there's no leaks, there's no oil puddles, but it is bone dry when we check the dipstick, and it sounds like it's got bad bearings now.
It's got rod knock, which if you're lucky you could just replace the bearings. If not, it can be much more expensive and much worse than that. But we don't even drive the thing, and all of a sudden we went to move it and click, click, click. You want to show them what that sounds like? Alright, so it's still very subtle, and if you know anything about these straight sixes, you know that they are, for the most part, bulletproof. So there's a good chance that we could fix it without doing crazy shit.
Hopefully, we'll find out. Yeah, I just gotta pop the oil pan off and see what's going on in there.
Let's get back to this. So we only have so much time and so much resources. This still needs to go back in that. In that fucking camera. The Datsun has a built motor, but death trap suspension and brakes. And as you just saw, the Jeep's broken. And we have 500,000 bikes. So we have plenty of content for you guys.
But for now, let's fuck up this bike. Get off of there.
How did that get back on there? Now this has chode shocks on it because somebody very short used to ride it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get on the bike stand that's built in now, but that's the first thing that we got to do. There we go. That wasn't that
Cool.
scary.
That was super easy.
Yeah. Okay, so a Scrambler in essence kind of looks a lot like a cafe racer, only it has the capability to go off-road. So we're going to put some big knobby tires on this, and if it's going to have any off-road capability at all, the suspension clearance in the back is going to cut it. This seat, I don't know, everything about this is wrong. This exhaust is going to come off. I do like the 4-2, but these just stick out too far in the back, so we're probably going to cut them down low there. All this nonsense in the back, these ridiculous 80s blinkers and tail light, going to be simplified into smaller lights down low. That goes with the front end too. This is very, like, I don't know, Reminds me of some RoboCop shit.
Just get rid of all that.
Yeah, it's big, it's bulky, it's ugly, and we're going for a simpler, sportier, kind of rugged design.
Wastelandy.
Wastelandy, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Devin's tearing off stuff in the back, and I forgot to have the mic on like an idiot.
We just tore this off.
Yeah, that's for like the passenger. It's like an oh shit bar or something like that. And he's attempting to remove the fender that all the bolts came off of already, but it's no doubt connected to wires.
There it is.
So bikes are way more simple than cars. I mean, they're both not bad. It's like the same thing, but not at all.
Essentially the same thing, but not.
There's wires and there's bolts, and that's all there is for everything. So I don't know if I can, but I've disassembled this front end before, but I want to know if I could just take the entire thing off. So I'm going to go with the stem that's in here. I'm going to try to loosen that and see if I can just take this whole front end off without disassembling it. And then after that's done, we're going to pull this exhaust off. We're going to look at the integrity of this frame and see if we need to completely tear it down and powder coat it, but it doesn't look like we do because it is an Arizona bike. It's just sandy, but we can clean that. So that's the current status update.
I couldn't get the plugs out, so I just kind of tore the wires off.
We're not going to keep any of these lights or anything. We're going to go with a much cooler light.
In a completely different location, so it's all gonna have to be rewired anyway.
Yeah, this is the fun part about this, is we can just break shit that we don't like. A lot of you Nighthawk fans probably hate us right now, but it's a cheap bike. Anyway, go on Craigslist right now. You'll probably find like 400 of these things.
It's our bike.
It's our bike too, so fuck off. That was rude. But seriously. We're not ready to take the back wheel off yet, but we still want this plastic shroud out of here. But it's shaped in a way that you can only use this rusty old hacksaw to cut it in half and pull it out that way. Can't you just like feel the guy on the internet who's just like watching this video because he likes Nighthawks, and we're just completely ruining the originality of this one?
Yep, sorry guy.
Okay, so with the back end pretty much stripped down, with the suspension and the exhaust basically still in the way, I'm going to try to get this front end off now. The ugliest headlight ever made is coming off right now. Looks like a Volvo headlight.
Oh, it's got a lot of shit plugged into it.
Yeah, don't worry about that now. We just got to figure out how to get this off. For you motorcycle guys who are laughing at us, we've never disassembled a motorcycle, and I think we're moving pretty quickly. We could look it up, but we're not soft as baby shit, so we're going to struggle with this for as long as it takes.
Got a unicycle now.
Dope unicycle, bro. Alright, so we have the issue with the wiring harness. This bike was pretty advanced for 1983. It's got a gear shift indicator and a bunch of other bullshit, and even a little miniature fuse box up here. It's because of this overly complicated.
Look at all that shit in there.
Yeah, there's a ton of crap in there, which is silly because this bike's carbureted, so the final build of this bike will be much, much simpler.
Super minimalistic.
So we're gonna take this off and see what we can do about that. Whoa, what's up with this doo-doo area? And a leak or something in one point. Alright, we cleaned our garage and then we completely fucked up our garage, but this is a pretty blank canvas. We were going to do the rear wheel, but I think we're going to wrap it up today. So we got some other...
It can sit there nicely with that rear wheel on, so...
Yeah, it's balanced pretty good on its own stand. But looking at this frame, All the black paint's still there. There's no indication of it being shitty or anything like that at all. We might take off all these covers and reseal and paint or do whatever, and you know, like Scotch Brite those and all that shit. But this really just needs to be washed. Like I said, it's a Arizona bike, so a complete tear down, and it's not really going to be 100% necessary with this.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for the first Honda Scrambler build video. There's obviously more coming up. These aren't necessarily going to be, you know, multiple times a week or anything like that because we have so many projects, but we are going to slowly start making progress on it.
Yeah, we'll just chip away at whatever we can, whenever we can, and try and get as many videos out as possible.
Yep, we said in the last video that we'd answer a lot of the questions that you guys had for us, so at this point we're going to pull up some of those and go through the most asked ones.
One of the questions you fine gentlemen asked us was if Hodad's actually that good or if it's all hype. We don't know because we've never been. We've seen it before.
We've heard a lot about it, but we've never actually been.
You might be wondering why we're not taking the Datsun down to downtown because after all it is registered, but because fuck that thing is a death trap. That's the main reason why we can't hammer on it, or we can't, like, we're not ready to get it actually tuned yet. It's because the front brake rotors are warped, the suspension's really squishy, and it bottoms out over literally everything, and the steering wheel violently shakes when you go faster than 40 miles an hour. So the next few videos are going to be brake upgrades and coilover conversion. It has coilovers, but they're not adjustable. We'll be putting in performance struts and adjustable springs and all that shit. So that's next, and then after that we could really turn up the boost. We're only at 10 pounds right now, but we built the motor to be able to handle 25, so
after that we can have fun with it without fearing for our lives.
That's enough about that. We're gonna go eat some of these burgers that everyone seems to shit their pants over. Fat line.
Yeah. It's the weekend. It's gonna be difficult.
I got the beer shot.
It's fire, as always. Matthew Sanders asked if he could grab us a beer. We love beer. Of course you can.
If you're in San Diego and just want to buy us beer for some reason, you are more than welcome to.
Yes.
There's been a series of questions asking what we expect for power and what we're doing about the tuning and just a general, like, kind of that feel to those questions. Is the tune that we're going with right now is the bass tune from Stinger that we've run VE Analyze Live on a few times. It's a safe, drivable tune. We can't really do anything until we fix the brakes and suspension, like I talked about a little bit earlier, at which point we'll go to a speed shop with a dyno and get it tuned for more than 10 pounds of boost, obviously. And once we could actually stop the car, once it's going fast, we'd be more comfortable hammering on it. I hope that clears some shit up.
Pavel asks what our first cars were. Mine was a Saturn SE.
Oh shit, I don't remember.
What was it, the Subaru?
Oh yeah, that's right. I had a Subaru Impreza Outback Sport Wagon.
And we both beat the shit out of both of those cars.
Oh yeah, very quickly. It had more dents than you can count. I think I went through the woods in that Subaru all the time. I found out it had all-wheel drive like all Subarus do, and
abused it.
Yeah.
How long have we known each other? Early high school, so coming up on like a decade or so. Carter asks who could shotgun a beer the quickest.
Oh, I can't. No, Devin would win that 100%. You should see the dude shotgun beers. You should see the dude chug beers. He's got like some weird talent towards that. I don't possess the trait of chugging things quickly, so Devin would win that hands down. We're not even going to demonstrate that because it's useless.
I just love beer. Gage asks, what's the setup that we use to film?
It's a Canon 70D. Sometimes we even film with an iPhone. Believe it or not, you can get pretty good footage with just about any camera these days. The good thing about the 70D is it has autofocus and everything you need to film.
With one of the Rode mics, a few tripods, you know, a little slider rig, and some like shop lights, that's how we pretty much pull all this off.
Yeah, it's easy to do. We use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit, in case you were wondering that.
Rick asks what your favorite beer is. All of it.
How much power are you shooting for on the Datsun, Porsche, and Devin's Beard? Alright, so the Datsun, we're fairly confident we can get 400 wheel. We've been saying that for a long time. The Porsche we're being a little bit more conservative with. We want to have at least 300 wheel. That shouldn't be a problem. We'll probably end up around 350 would be safe for that motor. So 350 on the Porsche, 400 maybe more on the Datsun, and Devin wants to grow his beard to just untold lengths, I guess. It's like what he's into right now.
It just took a power loss, but it'll come back.
Yeah, he shaved it off. I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago, and a bunch of people told him he looked weird, so he's never going back now.
Nope, I'm not even touching it until 2018.
There's a couple questions that are kind of related as far as the Porsche goes. How much have we spent? What's the status on it? The answers are a lot, and we're spending even more money right now so we can continue building it. The suspension alone on that car was like $5,000. To get the engine case half assembled, just the bottom end, was $6,000. Parts are extremely ridiculous, and that's why that build takes so long. We are still a small channel, so any money that we do make, you know, from advertising and our business with this isn't really like supporting a $100,000 build. So
we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're gathering parts right now, and it'll come back as soon as it can. But we don't want to give you guys half-ass Porsche videos, so you got to be a little bit patient on that one.
Yeah, you notice we take a few months off with that and do a lot all at once, and that's kind of how that has to be because we have to save money and buy parts on the side. And we have to plan pretty strategically so we don't, you know, waste any time or money with that build. It's expensive, but it'll probably be done pretty soon. The motor's built now. We just need to figure out the induction and the exhaust and all that stuff, but that's really not that expensive. So,
yeah, somebody asked about aesthetics for it. We're gonna try and leave it as stock as possible, and pretty much just a paint job, and that's about it.
A lot of you guys repeated similar questions or the same questions, so I feel like we covered a decent amount of them.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap up this portion, and now we can actually wrap up the video, and that means that Devin's going to pick a winner for this video's giveaway. If you're unfamiliar with our channel, we give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. All you have to do to win is like, subscribe, and leave a comment that usually has to do with the question we ask you guys.
Okay, this video's winner is Mike Kennedy.
Okay, Mike, you can hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media pages, and we will get back to you and ship you your prize. If you want to win this giveaway, like, subscribe, and in this video, leave in the comments. We're pretty sure it's winter for the majority of the world, or coming up on winter. It's fall, obviously, right now, but this is the time of year where a lot of you plan projects to do over the course of those few months. So in the comment section, just leave your winter project if you have any, and if not, you can just leave a random comment. It doesn't matter. If you don't want to answer a question, you are still eligible to win. So that's it for this one.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.